Hi, it's Dr. Costello. It's March 26th, and I'm going to give you three possible scenarios or predictions for what to expect for COVID-19. Number one, and our best scenario, is that this behaves like seasonal flu. The flu kills tens of thousands of people every year in just the United States, and with no intervention from man, it miraculously disappears come mid-April at the end of flu season. We're watching the Southern Hemisphere, South America, Africa, and Australia for their COVID-19 prevalence. And for right now, South America and Africa have very little infection, and we're hoping that's at least partially because they are not in flu season right now. Australia does have a fair amount, so that's not a given. With that scenario, the infection in the next 2 or 3 weeks hopefully starts to die down on its own, but then likely will come back again in the fall, but we'll be more prepared. Option number two, this is the least likely scenario, is that we mitigate this, we flatten the curve, we slow it down like China did in Wuhan, and it miraculously disappears on its own. I don't think that's even close to a possibility with a infection that is so contagious, has a very long carriage rate. You have the virus in your system for 14 to 37 days. And the fact that we are not self-quarantining by any means nearly what they did in China. So don't look for reopening things in 2 weeks and think that everything's going to be done. The third possibility, and the most disturbing of these, is that it's not going to go away. It is like the chicken pox, that you either have to catch the disease or we develop a successful vaccine that has long-term protection. So in that case, we don't have successful treatment for the infection. It's going to mean that we're going to have to suck it up and get the infection. So that might mean that in 3 or 4 weeks we start letting young people out with the anticipation that they're going to catch the infection and they're going to get over it and they're going to have immunity, and then slowly over time we develop more herd immunity. So more and more people catch the infection and they are immune to it. In the short term, we'll have to be very careful that a young person doesn't catch the infection and then go visit grandpa in the nursing home and get him sick with it. But that is a distinct possibility that this may not be over until the majority of the world's population has either caught the infection or by some miracle we have a universal vaccination program that is successful, and it has to be fairly universal. So in the short term, we're going to watch what happens in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And if we get a pause, that means that there is a seasonal variation to this. If it is storming ahead, then we may need to let people out of captivity and get people back to work, and unfortunately let people catch the infection in a controlled manner. So I agree right now, mitigation, slow down the curve, get supplies to healthcare providers, get people ventilators, get hospital beds availability, but it may be an inevitability that we actually just need to catch the infection before we can move on. Dr. Costello, thanks.